Hey everybody, this is Cameron. Do not adjust your sets. We are actually doing a live show right now with my good friend Joey Pedras, and we are here to talk about, oh my goodness, it's been 35 years of Twin Peaks. It's unbelievable. Uh, Obviously, we missed this by a couple days, but we still wanted to do a show and talk about it because,
Of course.
we have to talk about it. It's Twin Peaks, and there's been an anniversary, and there's been a lot of things happening. So, anyway, Joey, how the hell are you?
I'm doing all right, relatively. But yeah, a lot going on in Twin Peaks. I mean, obviously, not a lot, but a lot going on in the world of Twin Peaks and the world in general. But we're here to talk about the anniversary, 35. It's like an older brother to me.
Definitely. I mean, it's older than you, right?
Yeah, it's got me by a year.
Wow, we have already people writing in the comments.
Oh, really?
Air pressure's here. Howdy, y'all. Good to see you too. Hello. And Vel's Video Vault, you guys are great. Should always talk about it. I agree.
Oh, I like that. Thank you. That's very kind.
And Wilton is here as well. I think people
Hello.
like seeing us together when we talk about Twin Peaks. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, like you said, but also not, right? But there is, weird. but there's not. So obviously, let's just get to the news that everyone was talking about this week here, and that is that Jennifer Lynch posted the gravestone of David Lynch. It's beautiful. It says "Night Blooming Jasmine." I at first didn't understand that reference, but he's talked about it on his weather reports and other places. Mm-hmm. But I really love this picture because in the reflection you can see the blue skies and the clouds, and I thought that was a classy touch.
No, yeah, I like that.
And so she posted this and said, come visit him. I will be. And she posted the location, which is the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, which is a very famous cemetery where a lot of celebrities are there, including Judy Garland and Toto. So if you go to
I didn't know that till right now.
So if you go see David Lynch's grave, there's a lot of people there to kind of pay your respects to as well. So the moment she posted this, I think it was an hour or more before Grim Life Collective posted that they went to the site. I don't know if they posted a video yet, but they at least did their still photos. And now I've seen at least 5 or 6 people that have gone. I'm sure there's been more. But this is going to be kind of like what the Jim Morrison site is in Paris. Like people are on Twitter X saying this is going to be the next like goth spot.
It's already turning out that way. It seems it's only been a couple days.
And I mean, I think it's cool that people will pay their respect. And there's going to be really nice, respectful people there. There's going to be people who are making, I don't know, Instagram selfies. There's going to be all kinds of people going there because David Lynch attracted all types of people. So
I've already seen donuts. I've already seen packs of cigarettes. I've already seen blue roses, other stuff. Obviously, tons of flowers. You're going to get a little bit of everything.
Didn't you say before we started recording that a girl posted a video of her like kissing the grave? Or
yeah, there was a video in the Twin Peaks universe group, which I run. If you're not in that group already, it's on Facebook. Check it out. She posted singing by the grave, kind of gently caressing the grave, and then she kissed the grave. And there's like with red lipstick, so there's red lipstick on the grave.
Is that why people went ballistic on her, because she left a mark on it?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's a little odd, but yeah, I saw it. It's definitely getting a lot of attention, but I'm sure she won't be she maybe wasn't the first already, and she definitely won't be the last.
She will definitely not be the last person who kisses the grave. I'll tell you that much. They're going to have to go out there every night and clean it, basically.
Yeah, they're going to have to. Hopefully, they have a good microfiber cloths on standby.
Yeah, I did start to see that people were putting things around it, which normally, people who pay their respects do as well. A lot of flowers, a lot of, and there's probably going to be a lot of like pop Funkos left there, things like that.
I gotta say, for the most of the stuff I've seen, people have been pretty respectful. So that's
of course,
it's pretty nice.
of course, and that the cemetery, because they have so many famous people there, are they're used to this kind of thing. Maybe not to this extent, because David Lynch was such a pop known figure,
Dedicated fan base.
Yeah. And it's not like you're walking into a mausoleum or something like that. Like, this is where they can close it down at night. This is right there
Right
for
out
you.
there.
Yeah. So a lot of people were surprised that his middle name was Keith, which I found that interesting, because he was always known as DKL,
Yeah.
And I saw somebody else on social media say Keith David has now the funniest thing he can do by being right next to him.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. I hadn't heard that. Yeah. David Keith Lynch. That's the man.
Absolutely. What do you think of how, like, just kind of stark and classy the tombstone is? There's no date of birth. It's just the years. It looks like a perfect business card in a way.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, night blooming jasmine sounds like a floral business in a way. Yeah, no, I like it. It's simple. It's very glossy. It has a reflection. You pointed out, like, the blue sky and the clouds in the reflection in this picture. I think it's just that's almost stark black, but with the reflectiveness, it's very David Lynch. That you have that black, just sleek black stark thing, but then you have the blue clouds and the blue sky and the clouds. So it embodies him very, very nicely, very neatly. I like it.
All right, let me ask you this: if you were visiting and you were going to leave one item for him, what would you leave?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I would go to Big Boy, and I would get a shake and a burger. Maybe leave that for him.
You're gonna leave the shake on his grave?
Yeah. And a little napkin for him to write on.
And how about a clock that's always at 2:30, because that's when he would eat the
right? Yeah,
the milkshake. I would get a replica of the Robin from Blue Velvet and just have it sitting there on
that would be cute.
Because that thing already looked like an automated little thing anyway, right? A little robot.
Looked like a little robot.
Yeah, something out of Clash of the Titans or something. But yeah, I would put something like that. Yeah, there's gonna be some person out there who's gonna put a human ear next to in the grass.
Right. I was like, there's somebody gonna put their ear next to it. I mean, maybe some quinoa. I don't know.
Some people are making quinoa and bringing them a bowl.
A bowl of quinoa. Yeah, I figured Bob's Big Boy would be because he ate it every day, and
Well, he stopped
almost every. Well, yeah, back in the day, he ate it almost every day.
Yeah. I wonder if he would get himself one of those Bob's Big Boy like coloring books that they would have for the kids, just
like the placemats.
Yeah. Well, no, they made like little comic.
I've never been there. Oh, they have color.
Well, I don't know about anymore, but they did in the late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, I didn't know that.
So, all right. So you mentioned Facebook, and your group, Twin Peaks Universe, is going well. You got nearly 40,000 on there.
Going strong.
I've been having some issues with Facebook lately.
Tell the people, Cameron. Tell the people.
All right. So just so you guys know, I'll try and do this as fast as possible here. So obviously, like a lot of people, I had a personal Facebook, and then I was running pages. Like I had a David Lynch theme page, and the mass media, which is the other YouTube channel I have. I had a page for that, and the Queen of Hearts page and all that. But I also, because Instagram is part of the metaverse, I had the O&A page, and I had a page for Queen of Hearts, and I had a page for my kid, so that my family and friends, whatever, could see Mr. C growing up. Well, I wake up yesterday saying that they had some issue with something having to do with like some business form that I filled out having to do with the advertising like years ago. Like they couldn't I don't know. They didn't really go into specifics. They just said there were issues, and now they had like their AI bots detected something. So I got flagged for something like that. Then I got flagged because Mr. C had an Instagram account, which I was running, and they said that I was posting pictures of him, just in general of a child under the age of 13 years old. So therefore, I didn't have his consent, even though I'm his parent. And he always told me, "Are you going to put that on there?" I said, "Yeah." So anyway, because it's Meta and it's connected, Facebook, Instagram, they ding me on all these things. And so they ripped down every single page. I lost all the Instagram accounts. I lost all my Facebook pages, including my personal page that I've had for 17 years. So I lost all these pictures of, celebrities I've met, some Mr. C pictures. I lost, a lot of the Queen of Hearts pictures. I mean, I have backups of a lot of these, but not everything. And the David Lynch page that I had been crafting and like putting in nicely into folders, into like, here's David Lynch and Isabella Rossellini folder, and here's Fire Walk with Me behind the scenes folder, and all that. So anyway, they ripped down everything, and then I thought, okay, well, I didn't want to, but I just thought, well, let's just try it. So I created a new page for my personal, and within 5 minutes that got flagged because it's the same name. So couldn't do that. But there are people that I only communicate through Facebook, usually, through Messenger and all that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to lose that. So I did have to create a workaround sort of alias, if you will, so that I could still be in touch with people via Messenger. But because I lost the Queen of Hearts page, and I wanted to do one for Black Rose when that got launched, I'm able to use that account to create the other pages. So if you were on the Queen of Hearts page, or you want to be on the Black Rose page, just type in Queen of Hearts Twin Peaks Fan Film on Facebook. It should come up and you can join the new group. But yeah, lost everything. And in my opinion, from talking with others, talking with you, and seeing it for myself, I don't think Meta, Facebook, Instagram is really going to be around probably within 5 years. And I think that's even being generous. So my advice to you is like, because one of the things I woke up and they said, when I clicked on, it didn't even give me a chance to say anything. It just, a big screen came up, said, you need to appeal this. And they gave you a button and you pushed it and it said, okay, you appealed. We'll let you know in 24 hours. And they let me know in 10 minutes that it was, that they were going to accept that. And they just ripped everything down. And then they said, oh, would you like to download your information? And I said, yes. And then it says, oh, this link doesn't work when you click on it. So you will not have the ability to download your stuff. You will lose everything. So my advice to you is, if you have an important post, if you have important things on there, save them. Because I know this is like a cliche to say, but if it can happen to me, it's going to happen to other people. Because I didn't post anything that they had a problem with. It was just some AI bot that like flagged something, and then they cross-referenced something, saw that I had a kid page, and thought it was something devious, I guess. Because like my kid hanging out with Five Nights at Freddy apparently is horrible. So they just flagged everything, and it's just like everything's gone, and it's absurd, it's ridiculous, and there's nobody you can talk to, there's nobody you can write to, there's no phone number you can call, I'm telling you, Joey, when somebody creates a social media platform where there is like an operator Nancy standing by, like in a cubicle that you could talk to and say, hey, something, hey, I got a problem, like you do with like when you call it your credit card company, that's the one that's going to be successful. Because almost every major thing out there, whether it be Google or Facebook or whatever, like there's no way to call if there's an issue.
Nope.
So
it's by design.
My advice,
but I will say the one that is doing that, and actually you can talk to people, is Bluesky.
Okay,
there are people you could get to.
Well, I'm on there.
That might be because it's so new, but yeah,
right. Well, I'm on there as well. So anyway, I'll conclude with this. I'll say it again because you need to get it in your head. If you want to have your stuff saved, back it up. Not that I didn't. Obviously, I know that, but I thought that there would be more of a, hey, we're having issues. We're going to close you down in 30 days. And then I would have the opportunity to, download stuff. I didn't realize it was going to be a, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5-minute appeal, and then everything terminated. I couldn't even grab the stuff before the appeal because the only thing that would pop up was the appeal page. You couldn't even access your account. So, and then I was being contacted by friends saying like, yeah, I'm seeing your account's there, then it's not there. And I said, well, can you grab some stuff off the Queen of Hearts page? And they said, all of your posts have been deleted. So there's a group page for Queen of Hearts right now that I cannot access because I was the only admin. But all the posts are gone. And then you were telling me on the Twin Peaks universe that all my posts were gone, which is a bummer because some of them are really funny.
Yeah, in our chat, I just see a little gray circle, and that's pretty much it. I don't even know if it has. Okay, it still has our old messages in there, but yeah, you're just a little gray circle now. Definitely back up your things, folks. Like every social media has a thing where it'll say like download all my data or something like that.
Yes, but don't believe it because I tried that and it said it doesn't work. You're going to have to manually go in there and just grab the ones that you think are the most important. It's like if there was a fire, which 5 things are you going to
Yeah, which things are you going to take? Yeah.
Right.
I made it a practice of doing it every couple of months, just like archiving as much stuff as I can.
Right.
So I suggest people do it, especially if you have stuff that you don't have saved anywhere else.
But I bring this up because there are a lot of Twin Peaks, David Lynch-inspired Instagram accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have rather large followings. And I'm not going to say names. Because I think they all do great work. And I don't want to say any names because I don't want to float that in the ether. You know what I mean? And have Meta go, ooh, that's a name I need to check out. You guys have great accounts. Back up your stuff. Back it up. I don't know where you would post to otherwise, but just back it up because one day, without warning, you're just going to wake up and it's going to be gone. And like I said, if it happened to me, it's going to happen to a bunch of people. And don't be surprised if Meta is not around. So you should back it up just for that reason alone.
They want to be an AI VR company.
Yeah. So my wife said to me, well, if it's got all these problems, why would you rejoin Facebook? And again, it's because there's people I only talk to through Messenger, like messenger calls and things like that. So I have to be able to talk to them. But yeah, so there is a new Queen of Hearts page and all that. I think it's got like 8 people on there. So please feel free. And it's not a private group. I made it a public group. So that will help because before you couldn't share from that group because it was private.
Mm-hmm.
But now you'll be able to. So Chris is here with a super chat. This has nothing to do about snobs, or people trying to bully anything. This is all just Mark Z's AI Terminator bots running wild. So
yeah, this is Hucker Boy getting just letting the robots basically run the show, which he's been wanting to do for a long time. So,
and we all know how well that is going to work. So, I mean, how many times have you posted something on Facebook or somewhere else, and all of a sudden you get flagged for something, and it's like got nothing to do with what you just, you know what I mean? Like, it's like this is inappropriate imagery, and it's like, what are you talking about? It
happened to me not that long ago. I shared a post from another page. I won't say what the post was here, just in case Google gets mad about it or YouTube gets mad. But I shared a post from another page to my Instagram story, and they flagged me and they said, if you do this again, we're gonna take all your stuff away. And it was. They said I was spreading fake news, but I think it would be something that a lot of us would probably agree is not fake news. But yeah, they're pretty militant these days.
So Vel's video says the other Queen of Hearts group is still up. Yes, it's still up, but there's no posts by me in there anymore. Everything's gone. All the pictures are gone. All the posts are gone. I think the only post that's left is one that somebody else wrote. So what you can do, Val, if you would like to, is make a comment on that person's post that there is a new page for people to follow, because that will be like the first thing people see if they, if they're in that group. It will say, hey, there's a notification, and it will, get people over to the new group. But I gotta tell you, Joey, I'm really, really tired of having to like update contact info and all the show notes about things. Like every time there's a problem with Twitter X, so everyone's going to Bluesky. Okay, great. I have no problem with that. I'm on Bluesky too. But now I got to change all the story things to reference the Bluesky stuff. And then, oh, I have this Instagram account. Nope, now I lost the Instagram account.
Good luck. Yeah.
It's just like, and you have to manually do it. And once you hit 200, 300 videos, that's a pain in the butt. To have to do that over and over and over again. So thank you very much, Chris, for your super chat, because that will help. So anyway,
things running again.
Yeah,
let us know if you guys have any questions about anything too, stuff going on. Just because I know there's like a lot of things in the air, but it's hard to aggregate everything.
So, all right, let's just start going through a bunch of them. I don't know if the Zavi sale is still happening, but there was a Zavi sale the other day where it was 2 4Ks for $40. And one of the 4Ks they were selling was the UK 4K, which is not available here in the States. We only have the Criterion Blu-ray, but as a 4K over there of the Elephant Man. And everyone tells me it looks gorgeous. And then I turned it around and saw that disc 2 is flooded with extras that I've never seen, nor are they on the Criterion disc. So I ordered that and a few other things, but that was the Lynch title that I got. Dawn of the Discs has reported that Fire Walk With Me is finally going to be a 4K via Criterion. However, Criterion, as great as their 4Ks are, and they are great, they never have HDR. So it's not going to be like...
That's so weird. Like, why wouldn't they go the full way? I don't know.
I don't know, but like all their 4Ks basically just look like really great Blu-rays. There's no HDR.
They just look upscaled. They don't look like there's really any color depth, which is a shame because those film reels probably you'd get a version of the film with detail that you've never really even seen before if they scanned it for HDR.
Well, let's just be completely honest. This is not going to be the last version of Fire Walk With Me that gets released to 4K. So...
Yes, but also, like, is Criterion gonna rescan it again in a couple? Like, I think another company. I think I mean, I know they released one overseas that got destroyed because of the compression on it. They said the night scenes were almost unwatchable. See, I hate that.
However, it was good enough that, people found out what book Laura Palmer was carrying in high school for them to make that post about. So there was pluses, there were minuses, but I'm hoping that and it looks like Criterion is just going to re-release the same like box style, for it. But anyway,
I wish Criterion would get in on the Steelbook game because I would love like some Steelbook Criterions.
Whoa. We're already dealing with enough tariffs. I can't be dealing with Criterion Steelbooks too.
Yeah, then deal with the steel tax and import steel or aluminum for whatever they use for the...
Please. Hey, if you guys want to see something really funny, check back with all the physical media channels in about 3 to 4 weeks when they all realize how bad the tariffs are going to affect their physical media. I've had so many of them, Joey, push back on me saying, you're just bringing a political discussion to a physical media talk. And I'm like, no, I'm actually talking about reality, folks. Anyway.
I talked to Cameron about this a little bit the other day because I was proposing we do a whole video about this. So if you guys want to see us, we can talk about it now or we can talk about it in a full video. But I agree with Cameron because a lot of the production is not a majority is not in the United States. I don't know if you know this, the plastic, what they make the discs out of, it's all in the Asian markets. And if you don't think your Blu-ray is going to cost like, they've already gotten up in price for new Blu-rays. If you don't think they're going to be like like the price of a video game, like $160, like $80 for your average Blu-ray, forget Steelbook. Steelbook is going to be like $120. You're in for it. You're in for a rude awakening of these tariffs. And that's not political. That's reality.
That's what I'm saying. But I've had physical media personalities, again, I won't name names, who have said to me, like, you're just bringing a political discussion, which says to me, one, who they voted for, and two, it also just like, you guys are gonna, if you guys are complaining about the Disney prices now, get ready, folks, because they're gonna be $150 for Song of the South coming out.
Just economics. It's not it's why it's the tariff. Like, Trump implemented the tariffs, non-political. Tariffs have a certain effect. I don't know why you think things are going to be immune from tariffs. If just because you like the thing, it doesn't make it immune. They're still going to be affected by tariffs. It is objective to what tariffs are. It is not political. It is just commerce and what the result of a tariff is.
I think we need to make a new rule in society that if you talk about Trump, it's no longer political because he's the president. Political to me is when it's the presidential run, the election. Then you can get political about stuff. But he's the president now, so this is reality.
Yeah,
so
it's happening.
It's happening. So it's not politics. It's just reality.
Reality. Anyway, it's what's happening.
Anyway,
drives me
big tangent there, but still, it's anyway. So maybe this is why Criterion is just releasing Fire Walk with Me, because for a long time, and it's been a long time, how many years now, they've been teasing that they're going to release the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
They have hinted.
I thought it was going to happen after Inland Empire. I thought they were going to just be like, all right, we're doing Twin Peaks completely.
Because they've teased season 1, they've teased season 2, they've teased Fire Walk with Me a number of times, which obviously they've already done. Maybe they're looking at the cost and like, I don't know, but they released something where it was like a $600 box set of like all their old releases, and it was like all Blu-rays. So I can't imagine them going, oh, no one's gonna pay $600 for a Twin Peaks 4K box set, but yeah, they would.
Or they could do it like the Godzilla box set. I mean, it'll be $150, all upscaled 4K, whatever. You don't have HDR, so you're just rescanning the film and then maybe cleaning it up a little bit. I'm sure I'm sure they already have the staff, the labor, but then the cost to produce it is going to be insane. So who knows? Not anytime soon.
You were talking about the steelbooks. When is Criterion going to get into like the stickers and the pop Funkos that come with the releases, and like all the other boutique labels start doing now? Where you get you get a whole like collection of stuff.
Well, they've had the prestige for so long, they could just ride off the laurels. They have like the Room series where people go in and pick movies out of the room, which is doing very well. But
which I found out was like a camper.
They did a tour. They did a tour with the thing. So there is a room in New York, but
okay.
They also did a tour.
I thought it was always in a camper.
No. There's actually a room, but then they had this camper to make it look like the room so they could drive it around and stuff.
Okay.
But I think they're going to have to provide some more value, especially if things get more expensive. People aren't going to, you could only be prestige so long. You could be prestige when the economy is good and people have extra money to spend. Prestige goes out the window. Luxury goes out the window, especially for people that aren't super wealthy. They're not going to be paying crazy money for a Blu-ray of a movie they already have, in my opinion. Well, unless you give them something extra.
Well, their upcoming release of Sorcerer is amazing.
I want to get.
First, the extras they have on that are amazing. They're including the 2-hour discussion between Friedkin and Nicholas Winding Refn, which is amazing.
I only saw Sorcerer for the first time last year. I bought like a crappy Blu-ray version just to watch it.
Sure.
But I do want a nicer one.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really cool. So anyway, no release date for Fire Walk with Me yet, but it's coming. And, we're still keeping our fingers crossed for a Straight Story. Although what Sabrina told me Disney has no interest in putting it out. So it's just like ridiculous. But
license it to Criterion. Let them pay. They
They
did
did it-
Wall-E.
exactly.
I mean, I have that. It looks great. I mean, it's still a newish movie, so they didn't probably have to do too much to it. But
right. Yeah. So
it's kind of silly.
anyway, but starting tomorrow in Chicago, if you're anywhere near that, the Music Box Theater is doing a 10-day
That's
David
awesome.
Lynch festival, and it's like day to night. And it's not just like, okay, they're just going to play these movies.
Cool.
They're going to be playing 30 minutes, 40 minutes of pre-shows, like in between each things, like all 900 weather reports, right? They're going to be playing all, well, those are in the lobby at least. But they're going to be playing all the on the air episodes.
Oh, that's cool.
Right? They're going to be doing I think it goes Wizard of Oz, Wild at Heart, Lynch Oz as a triple feature.
That's cool,
right? I mean, if you check out my interview with Daniel Knox that I did a few weeks ago, this thing's legit, and
that sounds great.
It makes me mad that I'm not close enough to go because I would.
I know it's kind of in the middle for us both, so we'd have to both.
I would love to go. I would basically just camp there. I would just need somewhere to take a shower, and then I would go sit back down.
I like Chicago. Chicago is a cool town.
I haven't been since I was 10, but I liked it.
I went a couple years ago. Yeah.
But yeah, that's happening, and that's really cool.
They just did a tribute, I think, sometime this week in Philadelphia. I wasn't able to go. I got like a last minute invite, but it was already too late. So Philly's like 2 hours away from me. But I know they did something around where he used to live, kind of thing in Philly.
Yeah. So Vel's video says up where I am, Santa Cruz, which is about a half hour north of me. They're doing Blue Velvet tomorrow and Saturday night, and Fire Walk with Me next Friday and Saturday. I believe it's probably going to be at the theater where I saw Inland Empire. But Vel, I wasn't. Maybe I was wrong, but you're from this area. Maybe I forgot about that. I know San Francisco. They just did a screening of the Log Lady documentary.
Yep, I saw.
And there was a screening of it in Ojai, which is maybe hour or two north of LA. So it's about 3.5 hours south for me. But I was going the opposite direction. I was going north to Portland the day they were doing it. And I was really sad because Sabrina was there and Mark Frost was there. Obviously the director was there. They had a bunch of people and it would have been. Ojai is a very interesting little town because there's like one road in, one road out, and it's a windy way in, and then it takes about 30 minutes to get into the town, and it's very it's sort of the Martha's Vineyard of like Middle California. It's very upscale, but anyway, but I know people who went to that screening and they said it was great. So the Log Lady documentary, I don't know. I think by this summer it's going to be on streaming, from what I understand. I know they're going to be doing a lot of theater screenings, but I think it's going to be on streaming. So it's like if you have,
I kickstarted it, so I should be getting a copy of it.
Well, dang.
Where's my copy?
All right. Well, the Fandango home, or and it's one thing I want to find out about is because remember we got tipped off that there were going to be 2 versions.
Right. That was a while ago.
Yeah, there was going to be a 2-hour cut, which is what everybody's seeing now. And then I heard there was also going to be a 6-hour version. So I want to know, is that still in the cards, or is that coming down the road, or did that get called off? I don't mean like a 6-hour movie, but like hour-long episodes.
Yeah, it's on somebody's hard drive, I'm sure.
I hope we get both versions.
I mean, it would be nice.
Yeah.
I would digest the other one in pieces. I would like to see it in theater. I think that would be cool. But the other one I would watch at home. Kind of like the Beatles Get Back documentary that Peter Jackson did. I watched that over like 3 days.
Well, his preferred cut was 18 hours.
I believe it. I believe it. But that was cool to just like have like a whole weekend dedicated to the Beatles and get back. I'd like to do that with Log Lady. So that'd be cool to get that.
I helped fund the Getting Lost documentary, and they sent me a really cool Blu-ray of it, and it looked gorgeous, I have to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but people saw it on streaming before I got the Blu-ray, so maybe that will happen.
I know that's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen with this. But we'll see.
Yeah. Let's see here. Noah says, "I've got a Fire Walk with Me, Curie. I bet if y'all could answer. I was reading that in the theatrical release that the fade after Agent Desmond finds the ring was originally a fade to white instead of black. Every version I saw in 1992 was to black in the theater."
I'm trying to think about when I saw it 2 years ago at the drive-in. Pretty sure the fade to black.
Now I'm not saying that's
Yeah,
true
he like
everywhere.
just goes to touch it and then it just fades.
Well, it doesn't even fade. It freeze frames and then fades.
Yeah, like he goes to touch it, then it's still and then goes away.
Now, from what I was, what's been hinted at to me was that, and they didn't shoot this because they couldn't have shot it. But like in season 3, when like Dougie and the Tulpa Diane like just like shoot out of the frame, right? I think that's what they originally kind of not wanting. They needed to figure out a way to like show that he was taken or sent somewhere or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they just couldn't do that technology, I guess, back then. So they end it in a way where he could be in the lodge because he took the ring. Deputy Cliff could have killed him. There's a lot of things that could happen. However, if you go to the scene where Cooper's talking to Gordon, they're reviewing the videotape after Philip Jeffries. You'll notice when Gordon says, "Where is Philip Jeffries?" You'll notice on the screen above them, it looks like Chris Isaak walks into the building right at that exact moment.
Right. I remember us talking about that a while ago. Yeah. It's interesting. I have to go back and check that. Maybe when they do the 4K,
I don't believe it is Chris Isaak. Okay?
No. I don't think so either.
And but it sure looks like him. He's got the swagger.
He's got like the coif hair.
Yes. Let's see. John Thorne's here. Hello, John.
Oh, hello.
If you want to join us, let me know. I'll send you the link. John says, very, very unlikely that there was a fade to white. If you see the movie in theater, the scene cuts to the bright morning in Philadelphia. People misremember that as a fade to white. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. And I think I believe I asked Josh about this, and even he wasn't sure or not. I was always told that Liberty Bell shot was extra B-roll footage from Trading Places that Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy movie.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not. That could be just an urban myth.
That might be, but also that might explain that extra graininess on that shot, which Trading Places is a very grain. I don't know what they shot it on, but it's a very grainy movie. Even today, even like the 4K, super grainy. Everything is very blue and grainy. It kind of looks like it. I would believe it. I mean, I'm not sure if it's true, but I could buy it.
Well, the thing is, though, is that there's a lot of movies that use shots from other films.
Oh, yeah, of course. Especially back then, yeah.
I mean, even, the legendary one, of course, is the ending of Blade Runner uses shots that not were in The Shining, but were shot for The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Ridley Scott said, like, why would I go pay for helicopter shots when I know Stanley Kubrick has 50 hours of this footage?
Which, again, if you listen to that quote, it's like, it's definitely stuff from The Shining, because Ridley Scott doesn't like, from what I understand, he doesn't like doing extra shit. I've been listening to recent interviews, especially after Gladiator 2 came out, and he's like, I don't like having to do more than I have to do. So if I could cut some corners somewhere, save some money,
Yeah.
he does it. So,
Well, here's the
mean,
good news, and this isn't David Lynch related, unfortunately, but the good news is that they have announced that the full roadshow version of Kingdom of Heaven is coming to 4K in May.
In May.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that movie. Not the 2-hour cut, but the full director's cut, and especially the roadshow version. Love it, love it, love it, and it's coming to 4K via Disney. So you're gonna be paying Disney Steelbook.
So it's gonna be $300.
No, it'll be like 65.
I know. I'm just messing around now.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I have to check that out.
John, I did send you the link to you via Bluesky. I know you are probably getting ready to do your presentation at the Music Box Theater coming up.
I mean, it would be great if you could come on and talk about that a little bit.
I don't think you've ever met Joey. You should meet Joey.
No, we've talked very briefly over social media, but I'd love to hear more about.
Since John is even here in the chat, let's talk about there's been 2 magazines that have dropped in the last few weeks, or actually recently. Oh, he can't make it. That's all right, John. Thank you for at least
Thanks for stopping in.
So Fangoria, their new issue has a David Lynch tribute to it. Actually, it has 2 David Lynch tributes to it. Now, you have to be a subscriber to get the full thing. Actually, just give me one.
Yeah, they're really nice covers. Yeah, if people haven't seen them yet, let me see if I could bring them up, because I think they're beautiful covers. I want to try to get.
So this is.
Oh, you have them.
I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. So this is not the version that's in the bookstores. This is the subscriber version. Right, but it is a very nice cover. Obviously, they're very much into Lost Highway. You get this cool bookmark, which is basically the same thing, but they do have. Let's share. Let me show you what there's so many articles about things. Oh yeah, here we go. So at the end of the story, remembering David Lynch, they have a little big article here, and there's him with Shelley. And then that's by Meredith Borders. And then this one is This Is the Girl, a tribute to the women of David Lynch's worlds. So they have Laura there. And
love that art too.
And they did a really nice job with it. Then Laura picture here. And basically it's this, this is not a knock against them, but it's a lot of the information that everybody the hardcore fans know. That everybody that's here, we already know all this stuff. But for the there's a lot of newbie fans. Richard Newby, who I believe I follow on social media, he did a whole breakdown of Lost Highway.
That's cool.
Yeah. So let's see.
I need to try to pick up a copy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you buy this issue in the bookstores, or wherever, the articles are in there, but just not the cover. But anyway, dun, dun, dun. I was kind of surprised that there, and then I don't want to show this for a second, but there's this weird blow up head version shot there. I can't. I don't want to. I don't know what it's. I think it's just a freeze frame from the movie. It says tune in for part 2, in which Richard discusses Persona, Denis Villeneuve's Enemy, and then Brian De Palma. But I mean, that's it. Then it goes right into Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is obviously something different. So I mean, they did a nice job. I know they can't do this, but it's almost like to go into what you probably wanted to go into, you needed a whole issue, not just a few articles in the middle. That being said, the final issue of the Blue Rose magazine came out, which I do not have yet.
Me neither.
But that I mean, that is when I say full issue, there's a full issue talking about everything. And they have Jennifer Lynch doing an interview or article, I should say, and Sabrina did one, and they got a bunch of people. Basically, everybody came back for one last hurrah, which is honestly what I wanted for a final issue, because for a long time there wasn't a final issue, and there had been discussions like, I don't know if we'll get around to it. Maybe we'll. I mean, I always knew it was eventually going to happen, but it's like, what event is going to happen that's going to trigger a final issue? And then obviously David Lynch's passing happens. There's your event.
That's the event, unfortunately, but that's the event.
Yeah, and I understand there's that thought of like, are we capitalizing on this moment? No, this is the moment to pay tribute, and so I'm glad they had the ability to use their final issue for something really, not that they weren't, but it's a very positive message they're putting out there, having the family members and Sabrina and a lot of fans writing in and doing all that kind of stuff. My only regret about the Blue Rose magazine is I wish that we had been involved at some point, because there was a bunch of us in 2017 that I always thought, we had really great voices out there. And I wish that we had been a part of that. But,
we're all writers.
Yeah. So
we're just writers of YouTube channel.
Yeah. So maybe, like I said, maybe another time, maybe another place. But yeah, I wish I could have been involved at some point in some way. But same thing with like Daniel Knox's thing in Chicago. But like, I don't live near Chicago, So I said, hey, if you're ever doing something in California, let me know, because I'm right here. So, but anyway, it's
yeah, I'm not too connected with the Twin Peaks crowd in New York. I don't really know anybody there. I met some people at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater, which I think they are going to do their David Lynch weekend again this year. I don't know if Hawk is going to be there. I don't know if the guys are going to be there again this year, like they were a couple of years ago, but it'd be nice to see a bigger crowd there and get to talk to some people. But yeah, Twin Peaks, the family, the Twin Peaks fan base, whatever you want to call it, is growing. Before we even got on this call, we were talking about the new fan base, the new era.
Oh, should I talk about them?
Yeah, well, we could talk about them.
Okay,
for sure.
So I know that most of us are on Bluesky now, and nobody really wants to be on Twitter X too much, but I do keep my account there just because I like to monitor what's going on. And there's also a lot of people on there that aren't on Bluesky, and it's a way for me to like the Facebook Messenger. It's a way for me to be able to keep in touch with certain people. So I don't post a lot really on there, like anything like personal. It's just kind of like whatever I'm posting on the other social media platforms, I just kind of carry it out and just kind of send it out there into the ether. But there is, and this may horrify some people, but I find it simply delightful, is there's a new breed of Twin Peaks fans out there. I'm going to say I never met them personally. They're probably between the ages of 16, 24, 25, right? I'm going to say within that age group.
Gen Z to Gen Alpha, I think. Is that after Gen Z?
I have no idea. But they are not that interested in the mythology of Twin Peaks. They're not really interested in themes. They might be, but their primary interest is, dare I say, character relationships. And these are, I don't want to say they're just shippers. That is a part of it. So there's a whole segment of them that like all they do all day long is talk about the lustful looks that Albert and Harry Truman give each other. And they're not doing this to be, they're doing this to be funny, but they're also because they're serious, right? They're really ingrained into this. Anytime like Cooper looks between Albert and Harry, they find that like an amazing turn on. That they think it's like some menage a trois thing about to happen. anytime Cheryl Lee looks depressed, and I don't mean as Laura, I mean as Maddie Ferguson, right? People are about to have heart attacks on that platform. They post a picture of her looking down at her Diet Coke that's not being drunk, and like people will write like 3 or 4 paragraph screeds about the sadness that the Diet Coke did not taste Maddie's lips.
That's so funny. Again, these are some of the most well-intentioned fans, but they are focusing on a whole different show than maybe you and I focused on. To them, it's the soap opera aspects of the show that are the most interesting to them.
They're not making fun of James Hurley. Instead, they're saying that the whole James Madeline romance should have gone 12 episodes.
Yeah, they love it. It's like romantic for them. It's very tragic.
There are people on that site that will scream at you in all caps if you say anything against a blouse that Donna wears. Like, this is some hardcore new fans. I don't even know if they've watched the whole series. I don't even know if they've made it to season 3. There's a moment where Donna gets out of her car in like, I think it's the first episode of that last 6 episode arc, where she gets out of the car and she meets up with Audrey and they spy, and she finds out her mom's like visiting Ben Horn. Here's a car that I don't believe we've ever seen her get out of, in an outfit we've never seen her get out of or wear. Her hair's a little more put together. Okay. There are people like literally fainting on Twitter X at this outfit and the car. Right. And you may think this is just ridiculous and funny, and it is, but they're sincere. And this is the next group coming up. These people make TikTok videos of just looks. Like, anytime Harry and Albert even glance at each other for a second, they take that second and they put it in the editing. So they stretch it out to like 5-6 seconds.
And they add some like glamorous music or sad music or longing kind of music
or confetti, like all over
hearts. I don't know if you were aware of like this. This is starting to remind me of like the Supernatural fan base, circa like 2012, 2013, where they were really into shipping Dean with Castiel, and that was like a huge thing for a very long time. It's very similar to that, but they're doing it with Twin Peaks now, and I love it. It's like a new fever for Twin Peaks, very different from what we've seen before, but it's just shows you the way this show keeps evolving and finding new fan bases, maybe for not the reasons you expect, but
and I mean, it's okay. I did post to them like a few days ago, and I said, God bless the new Twin Peaks fans, because you are bringing out things that I've never thought about in a million years. Let's just take a few seconds, shall we? And look at some of these posts,
guys. If you left the show at this point, you're missing out, because this is when it's gonna get this is the part of the show where it gets real. All right, hit me.
Okay,
I'm excited.
Well, I'm just saying this may scare some of the the OG fans, and I get it. The purists are gonna be horrified by this stuff. But like, to me, I just kind of I like the fact that new fans are enjoying Twin Peaks in any way they can, because again, this is a 35-year-old show.
Yeah,
nobody else is making TikTok videos about Mr. Belvedere. Okay, so
not on my corner of the internet, at least.
Maybe there are. If there are, let me know in the comments.
That's the most subculture thing.
All right, let's take a look. I this is live right now. I have no idea what else is. I do know that this one here is Troop Coop Fielder says, why did he say that? Is he gay? Looking good, Harry. Yeah. Right. Let's see.
Oh God.
Let's see. No one ever talks about how, besides Major Briggs, the only person in Twin Peaks to see the White Lodge is Andy Brennan. That's not entirely true. People hate on the shitty editing CGI in Twin Peaks, but I feel it adds charm. There's Little Nicky.
Little Nicky. This is so good. I
Like,
love this.
they are writing fanfic about Little Nicky.
Oh, wait. Oh, my God.
No, this is from the diary.
Okay.
They're not
I thought
writing...
somebody was writing fake diary entries.
No. When I first saw Fire Walk with Me in 2019, I'm not so sure I understood the impact it was trying to have. Maybe I was too hung up on the surrealism of the structure, though I liked it. It's 2025, I get it now. Fuck, this hurts. And then they also go into the X-Files, which I've never really seen.
Yeah, this.
Okay. Leland, you're under arrest for the rape and murder of Laura Palmer, and Madeline Ferguson, and Teresa Banks, and the attempted murder of Ronette Pulaski, and you've been found guilty and sentenced to death. This girl right here, I hope to have on my show one day.
We gotta get her on. We gotta get her on.
Cuppy Dog Puppy Cups is one of my favorites. World's first female furry Twin Peaks fan.
That, oh my. Wait, she's in Florida. She's on East Coast. We gotta get. Okay.
I've reached out to her.
You have? I want to be on that show.
She will be honored. This girl spends her whole weekends dressed up as Laura Palmer and walks around our town and says, "Why doesn't anybody notice me?" I mean, her name is Fire Bark with Me. She's this girl is adorable. I think everyone who wants to F Ben Horn. I think everyone who wants to F Ben Horn is forgetting he's a foot guy. Right?
This is great. She's funny as hell.
Cuppy Dog. I worry about them as if they are real. Like, right? This is key to understanding half the things I say on here. They are real to me. Always have been. When I like something a lot, all the characters become real. It's like the Velveteen Rabbit or something.
It's so funny and adorable at the same time.
It is. My mom just said, "Fire Walk with Me" to the dog. Puts you in a snow globe and shakes you. Cuppy Dog says, "I do this to Audrey." And then the Twin Peaks character closest to my birthday is Nadine. Now this is blowing up. Like, she posts like lesbian stuff of Laura and Donna, right? I'm the Gordon Cole of my office, because I can't hear anything anyone is saying. I have to yell, "What? I can't hear you" 10 times a day. Now look, I love this one. Maddie should never have to be this sad. This should be illegal.
I'm dying. This is so good.
Here's my top 5 hardest scenes to watch from Twin Peaks. Classroom scene, Ronette being held down in the hospital, Harold clawing his face, any scene with Sarah screaming, Maddie death scene. One is kind of obvious choice, honorable mention, Laura picture dance scene. Those are good choices here.
Yeah, those are good.
Let's see here. Oh, I love this one. Another banger. What does oomph mean? You know what that means?
I don't know.
Okay, but this dress she posts, right? And at the bottom it says, "Kind of thing Nadine wears to 38th grade."
That's so good.
Yeah.
I'm dying. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah, and she's just one of them, right? Like, here's Donna, like when she's warning Maddie to get out of there, and she's like, "Underrated look." You know, it's like, here she is, like, just screaming.
This is so good. We need to have her on. Oh my God.
I reached out to her and a bunch of other people, and I'm like, you guys are making my day, because
this is so funny.
There's so many great Twin Peaks fans out there, but they have lifted up a rock that I did not know was out there. And it's like, like when I met Josh and he opened my mind to a lot of things I had not thought of. Well, these people are doing the same thing in a different way, but it's like, it makes me so happy in life.
Yes, I'm laughing like this just because it's like so like totally out of the typical Twin Peaks like kind of consensus and conversation. It's like a whole like Cameron's saying, it's like unlocking a new part of my brain.
They said I have to stop talking about how I want to hold all my favorite Twin Peaks characters gently in my arms and spoon feed them chicken noodle soup, and then they call me weird. I would buy Madeline Ferguson a chocolate malted with whipped cream on top. Look at that. Look at the face. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah. She retweeted you.
Yeah, I said, "God bless the next generation of Twin Peaks fans." I love seeing your posts. Oh yeah,
Oh.
oh yeah, oh yeah. She's just these are just. I mean, and she's just one of them.
Oh my
I mean, these
God, I'm
people post
crying.
stuff all day long.
I'm crying.
I want to protect it. I want to see it grow up strong and healthy. I want to tell my friends and neighbors about it. It's just Audrey. Look at this one. I'm trying to become straight, so no more posting about Josie Packer, please. Look at this one. I love it.
This is
It's a remember the final dossier and cry kind of night.
this is so funny.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
she dresses up as look. She dresses up as Annie and Laura.
God.
I mean, I just come on.
This is so good.
Yeah, every time I see Annie, I'm like, hey, I have a dress kind of like that. Hey, I have a dress kind of like that too. Pics related. If the Twin Peaks characters were real, I would take them thrifting and get boba and mochi donuts with them. How it feels when I say I want dolls of the Twin Peaks characters.
The Funkos are out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
Yeah.
I can read these all day.
Oh, this is what I do all day on this stuff. You know, this is why I haven't given up Twitter X, because of people like this.
This is so good.
Puppy dog, puppy cups. You are like seriously one of my favorite people in the world.
I really hope she comes on the show, because like we need to bring in the new era of Twin Peaks fans. This is gold.
So she writes here, I want her blouse so bad you don't even know. So miraculously, Stephen Miller on his blog talks about where you can buy the blouse. So I sent it to her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. We need these new Twin Peaks fans on board. We need to start making new content with them. This is crazy.
Yeah. Look at this. The coolest accessory in Twin Peaks Award goes to Lucy and her little maple leaf thingy. Like, look at that. She got the picture. Look at the little maple leaf right here.
She's pointing out things like it just go over my head. Like I never noticed. Like,
oh yeah. Look at this. Do you ever randomly remember that she got blown up and survived? Yeah. It's
oh my God.
If you hate Josie Packer, you deserve to be executed.
Oh my God.
I'll never get over Shelley saying she doesn't think of herself as beautiful, because like, are you kidding me? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Besides the obvious, which character, Twin Peaks character, do you hate the most? Besides the obvious choices, most despicable is Ben Horn. Most annoying is Nadine. Everyone in these quotes saying Donna will not reach the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, Donna's not the most annoying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, those are cute little Laura keychains. How do I get one of those?
Yeah. Well, they're on Tumblr, I guess. F my stupid Audrey Horn life. Like,
here's Maddie anime.
Yeah. It's.
Oh, these are cool.
Oh yeah.
What the hell?
At what point am I gonna get commission dolls of Twin Peaks characters so I can play with them? Look at this. Forcing my friend to watch Twin Peaks with me by threatening to kill off her favorite characters if she doesn't. And then she posts pictures like, can we watch Twin Peaks tonight? My new hostage. F. Okay, yeah, don't hurt her. Yay.
Oh man, this is so beautiful.
But there's a whole group of these people, Joey. I mean,
love this.
She's one of like many. Look at this. Watched Mulholland Drive last night. This literally happened to me in college.
Oh my God. She's funny as hell too, on top of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not just like ramblings of like an insane person, right? It's like these are well thought out satirical posts.
Yeah, like this is so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes when I can't cope with their fates, I pretend they're all living in my house and I'm taking care of them. All right.
We could go through all these. Oh my God, that was pure gold. That was pure gold.
Well, there's your shout out, Cuppy Dog, Puppy Cups. I hope to have
I
you
have
on
to
here.
follow her.
But there's a whole group of them, right? And if you follow her, there's other people that you'll see because she'll retweet people. I love them all. They're hilarious. They're all like this, Joey.
Is her thing
And
Bark With Me? Is that her?
yeah, fire bark with me. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna follow her right now.
I mean, you could, I don't know what other people out there think about this, but like it makes my day. It makes me happy, and
Oh my God.
it just makes me laugh because the fact that there are young people embracing this show and enjoying it on a whole other level than we do. But at the same time, I can appreciate what they're doing and what they're saying. They're not making fun of the show. They're not bashing the show. They're enjoying the show.
Yeah. I almost feel stupid for caring about the mythology so much. I'm like, I wish I could appreciate it at this level where it's like I just love the characters so much and I like just mess around with them in my head.
But here's what happened. She, as well as other people, there's another person named Diane Evans, and she created an Annie Blackburn like automated account on there.
Oh.
And there's a whole group of them that are also what I've been waiting for my whole life, Annie stands.
Your
And
era.
my era has come, and they all discovered Queen of Hearts. One day they said, I saw these Annie stands, and I sent them the Twitter account of Queen of Hearts, and all of a sudden it was like, why the F did no one tell me there's a 4-hour film about Annie Blackburn out there? And now I had one post say to me, your film was great. It wasn't gay enough for me, but it was great. It's like,
That's
I'm
the thing.
sorry.
You need the gay undertones to your film to get
I
it.
thought maybe having Annie and Caroline look at each other might take them there, but it wasn't enough for them. So
I mean, Black Rose, you're gonna have to amplify some of these to get the new Annie stands on board.
well, I don't think Annie is going to be hanging out at One Eye Jack's, but back in the day in 2017, I actually made a person in our chat like almost choke to death because I said, that there wasn't anything in Queen of Hearts that was going to go against the canon. I said, well, maybe the exception that Annie one time ran, One Eye Jack's, and somebody literally almost choked in the chat when I said that. Because I was joking, but they what? So,
Oh my god, I think these fans of Annie ran One Eye Jacks, I think they would lose their mind.
probably. But anyway, I wanted to show off. I wanted to show off a few other people, but she is a perfect representative of what the new fandom is like, and you can go with it. You can try to look away, but in 10 years, Cuppy Dog Puppy Cups is going to be the one to go to the Music Box Theater. She's going to be the one that goes to the real Twin Peaks Festival, or wherever, or whatever festivals are going to be. These are the people who are going to be going, and they're not going to want to be talking about the mythology of episode 8 or part 8 or whatever.
Yeah, we're both going to be like elderly. We're going to be like episode 8 and episode 4, the original European pilot. They're going to be like, no, let's talk about the relationships in Twin Peaks. And
right, they're gonna talk about how hot and heavy the sex was between Dwayne Milford and Lana after he came in after her with the shotgun. Like that's the kind of
they're gonna be reading the final dossier like it's like one of those like little like pulp love romance fiction books.
These people, if I'm going by what they're saying is remotely truthful, and I've seen enough of their posts to believe that, like, while they are being satirical, I also think there is a genuine, they do feel this way. I think there's a lot of people who read the final dossier and hear about Annie saying I'm fine for 25 years and literally cry themselves asleep. Right? They can't handle that, the Donna had this horrible life after Laura Palmer and all that. They can't do it.
Now that you're saying that, I actually remember seeing a couple weeks ago that the sales, now I don't know how true this is, but the sales of Secret Diary of Laura Palmer paperback went up. And there was like pictures of like girls in their late teens, early 20s reading it on the subway in New York. And like, sitting in line waiting for a concert or whatever, like just reading it, sitting on the ground. It's picking up a brand new audience in a huge way. It's just becoming popular on TikTok and I guess X and maybe somewhere else that I'm too old for, but it's blowing up in a completely new way.
And that's only in
Super
the
interesting.
States. That's only in the States. I mean,
Right.
overseas, it's other places. And I mean, it was always popular with the teen girls in Japan.
In Japan, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's no joke that I think Fire Walk Me premiered in Japan first
Yeah.
before it
Pretty
came
sure,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. So they knew where the audience was. You know?
I mean, it makes it. Twin Peaks is perfect for that culture, especially at that time in the 90s, late 80s. You know, you had like the Junji Ito, like horror anime manga stuff really blowing up back then, especially in the 80s. Twin Peaks fit into that vibe super well. Like, and they caught fire at the right
I've
time.
always said that the perfect age to watch Twin Peaks is like, 14 to 16 when it came
High
out.
school, yeah. High
Yeah.
school age.
Right. I mean, I know there's people who saw it when they was younger, and some people were older, but I'm saying like this is why I always said that like Twin Peaks was my Star Wars. Because while I was alive when I saw The Empire Strikes Back in the theater, I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater. I was like, I think I was 5 for Empire. I was like 8 for Return of the Jedi. They were great. I liked them a lot. But I didn't get the mythological aspects of the hero's journey and all that. When I'm 8 years old, I'm looking at the monsters and that type of thing. And then Star Wars, I know this was be a shock to some people, but Star Wars was gone from 83 to 99.
Right.
I mean, yes, there was a couple of the Timothy Zahn books that came out, but unless you were like, a nerd that hung out at the bookstore, you didn't know those even existed. So for years, so in 1990, George Lucas did an interview with Siskel and Ebert, and he says, I'm thinking about coming back and doing Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker as young people. Right. So he dropped that in 1990. Phantom Menace didn't come out until 99. So there was like Star Wars was gone. So by the time I was the age that everyone went crazy for Star Wars when they were like in their, 8 to 14, ages, and then grew up with Empire and Jedi and all that, I was that age for Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
And Jeffrey Beaumont, played by Kyle MacLachlan in Blue Velvet, between Dune, Blue Velvet, and Twin Peaks, that is sort of Star Wars, Empire, and Return of the Jedi, right? And Cooper I told Kyle this. I said, you were the Luke Skywalker of my generation. If people were really paying attention and they were glued in, like Agent Cooper going into the Black Lodge to get Annie and redeem himself for the whole Caroline debacle and go against Wyndham Earl and go against the Black Lodge and all that stuff. That meant more to me than Luke Skywalker going into the new Death Star to get his dad in Return of the Jedi. Like, I was so emotionally invested in that finale.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had seen it a lot younger. I think I was like maybe 20, 21 when I first saw it. When it came to streaming for the first time is when I saw it. After being told about it for so long, never got the chance to because I wasn't going to buy the Blu-rays or the DVDs like offhand. They didn't really play reruns on TV. So when it hit streaming was like my first real opportunity to watch the whole thing, in order in like a short amount of time. So it really unlocked it.
After it aired and Firewalk with Me, and then they aired it on Bravo in the early 90s. And then it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you could buy this big like Suncoast box set. It was all the episodes were on SLP or EP. Sometimes they would repeat episodes like that. It was really the production quality was terrible. The pilot wasn't there. The tapes were all flimsy and that kind of thing. But when David Lynch said in 2001 that Twin Peaks was dead as a doornail, I mean, he was right because there was no way to access Twin Peaks unless you knew somebody who had an original recording, right? That had access to the pilot. I mean, yeah, you could stop the European pilot at a certain point, but still, though, it wasn't the US pilot. The quality, like I look back at my original recordings, which I thought were great. Now compared to the Blu-rays, I can't believe I watched those for so long. But there are color timing differences, I have to say. The whole Al Cave scene is color time completely different than it was originally broadcast. which is pretty bizarre. You can see
Is
pictures
it colder? Yeah, yeah,
it's like bluer, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. So there was no way to access it. Nobody could watch it. And then once it hit Netflix, and then obviously the gold box came out. I mean, there was the Artisan box set came out, but that was still didn't have the pilot. John Thorne, who was so nice to be in the chat, he wrote the linear notes of what the pilot was which is not quite the same thing as experiencing the pilot, but you know, he did his best. And the Artisan set came out and the Paramount set came out. There was no extras on that. And then I didn't even buy the Paramount set because I was told the gold box was coming only like a month or two after the Paramount set. And it was great. So between Netflix and the gold box, that's how the new generation, or not this new generation, but the previous one, got into it. And that's the only reason why season 3 came back. I mean, yes, obviously there were the flag wavers and wrapped in plastic and all that, but it was people discover. If Twin Peaks had not come back in a disc and a streaming form, they wouldn't have brought it back.
Absolutely not. They probably, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have probably ever watched it if it didn't hit Netflix back in 2013 or whatever it was when I saw it.
And it's so timeless, right? Because Badalamenti's music, you know, it's so jazzy that it's not like, oh, well, this is definitely 80s, or it's very classical. I mean, you can tell by the hair, but the hair changes throughout the shows anyway. But it all has this kind of 1950s look. It's shot on film, so it just looks like a legitimate movie for 29 episodes. So, I mean, this is why there's 35 years of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, we're talking about it in April of 2025.
Yeah. Now, my question to you is, why is Twin Peaks Fever still happening 8 years after season 3? Because the Secret History came out right before. The Final Dossier came out that fall, right? There's been, I mean, with the exception of the whole Unrecorded Night, is it going, is it not going, all that, there's been really nothing else, right? So right now we are at the most fan dominant part we've had in a long time, where it's only still being talked about because the fans are carrying the torch. So the question is, what are we going to do with this torch?
I mean, we're still running with it. I think we're still doing this show, obviously.
Well, we don't do it quite as often as we used to.
Well, no, there's not something to talk about every day for 3 hours, but
and we did that for a while. I mean, we were doing 2 to 3 hour shows, sometimes 4 times a week for a long time. And that was just off the premise of maybe there's a Wisteria Unrecorded Night. So
we'd watch one of the episodes, and that week we would do 3 hour episodes about a 45-minute episode of TV. Maybe we were insane, but yeah,
I think we were because we were completely wrong in almost everything. But
I know.
Yeah.
It was fun to dream.
I will say this though: 8 years later, I feel like I know and understand season 3 much more confidently than I did in 2018. I think you need to sit with it for years.
Yeah.
I remember asking Josh once. He said, the ideal way to watch it was the way we watched it, where we watched season 1, waited the summer, watched season 2, waited a year, saw Fire Walk with Me, waited 25 years, to watch season 3. People can't get that experience anymore. People just now get their box set and they watch 1, 2, Fire Walk with Me, season 3, all within 2 weeks. And Josh said to me, and I believe this, like, even if you're showing it to somebody now, you need to take like a week or 2 off between Fire Walk with Me and season 3. You have to have a little bit of the passage of time, because part of season 3 is about that passage of time. If you're going right after Fire Walk with Me, it's a little much.
Yeah, between season 2 and season 3, people need to just go watch all the other Lynch films before they start season 3, I would say. Yeah. Especially if Twin Peaks is their first introduction to Lynch Frost stuff. I think watch 1, 2, Fire Walk with Me, watch other David Lynch movies in between, just to tide you over if you want to consume more Lynch. And when you're done with that, you'll understand and go into 3 with all the questions and maybe some recognition of themes.
It's actually not a bad idea, because part of the return is sort of a culmination of Lynch's works.
Mhm.
So
That's what I mean, yeah.
you'll get the Dune references that are in season 3.
Dune, Lost Highway, Inland Empire, even. You know,
Well, yeah, I mean, all the Billy stuff and all that. We did have a comment in the chat that's asked, what do you think is going to happen to the Wisteria Unrecorded Night scripts? I don't know. I know a bunch of us would like to see them published in a book. I don't think we really, I mean, I hate to say this, but I don't know if we can trust anybody to really make them. Because, I mean, back in the day when Lynch walked off season 3, I remember I was a big advocate of like, well, you know, Mark Frost can direct, and Leslie Lincoln Glatter from, you know, who was a Showtime darling with Homeland, she can direct, you know, like if David Lynch wants to walk off Twin Peaks, other filmmakers from the original series can come back and direct it. Then I saw season 3 and I said, oh, this was written for David Lynch to direct. It wasn't like a season 1 script that somebody else could direct. It was tailor made to his vision.
Yeah, that's the thing. We were working off the knowledge that it was going to just be a straight continuation of the series, and it wasn't. It was more of a continuation of Fire Walk with Me, at least tonally, than anything else, which only Lynch could really do.
I'll make an argument that I think it's more tonally Inland Empire than it is.
Well, yes,
than Fire Walk with Me. I mean, Fire Walk with Me,
maybe plot wise, more connected, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like it was him just coming, like taking everything he had learned before and putting it all into this thing. And how could you not? I mean, I know it was 18 parts, but it's 16 and a half hours when you cut out all the credits, you know. I threw it on the timeline. I saw how long it is. So I'm like 16 and a half hours. All right.
I think maybe they should maybe not do the episodes, but do like table reads for charity or something. Like do it for David Lynch Foundation, get Laura Dern, Naomi Watts to come in. Do it at Graceland like they were going to do with that big Twin Peaks event, or do it maybe somewhere in LA or something. I don't know.
Put it as a Fathom event in the theaters. They would make a lot of money doing that.
I mean, I don't know if Lynch was like, he's like, if I don't do it, then it doesn't get done. But I feel like maybe he didn't. I don't know how he felt, but I feel like they could do something with it.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't, I hope they do publish them. I think another thing that could happen, very well could happen, is eventually Lynch's stuff will. Okay, I'm only going off the fact that like Kubrick did this and other filmmakers have done this, but I would like to think that probably some point a university is going to get the archive of everything, and then they'll let scholars go in like they do like at the Kubrick library, and you know, and kind of see the original scripts of Napoleon and his notes for this and that, because like, you know, and then John Thorne will end up writing this epic book about what Unrecorded Night was going to be because he saw the scripts, you know, and then we get to live through his experience of, you know, touching the material. That's one possibility. The other possibility is that they publish in the scripts or publish them in the books, and then the other possibility is we just never know. I would love to see the Snoot World come out as a fully like illustrated book with like his.
That would be awesome. Yeah, they need to do something with that stuff.
And then with his concept drawings on the left side, you know, when you're reading it, because that would be, you know, how they come out with like.
I think Netflix owes him that.
Like, where is it? Oh, you know, like, you know, when they come out with like the art books of like, you know, when Mad Max Fury Road comes out, you get the script, but you get all the notes, and you get, you know, or you get some of the notes, the concept drawings. They could do that. Snoot World, since it was going to be animated, they could do something like that.
Yeah, I think they should. I think Netflix should do something for them.
So, well, they kind of owe him.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
I'm just gonna say that. low and proud. But
yeah. No, I would say it. Yeah.
I mean, they greenlit that. What was that? What was that weird movie
With
that the Russo brothers made?
yeah,
That
with
cost
Millie
400.
Bobby Brown.
That cost $400 million, and people were like, "You didn't greenlight Lynch to do this?"
And I don't even remember the name of it, and it just came out, so nobody else is gonna remember that stupid movie.
But it was like IP characters, like, right? There was like strange characters.
Something like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
And they gave Zack Snyder all that money to do Rebel Moon, and that bombed too. And everybody laughed at it. Like, and you're not going to give Lynch money to do whatever the hell he wants? Are you crazy?
I mean, he wasn't. I mean, I wasn't obviously privy to the details. I doubt he was asking for $100 million. You know, they could have.
I don't know.
Oh wow. Okay.
Obviously, the pandemic changed a lot of stuff, but I don't know. They could have done something, unless they did, because there was all those, those rumors that he was secretly filming things. So I don't know, but
yeah, well, that all comes from Peter Deming,
right? Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe there is something in the can. I really don't know.
Well, just think.
I don't want to speculate, but that's what we do.
Paperclip Antenna says Lynch was the only celeb I ever cried about, and boy, did I cry. Because I think that he was, even though I never met him, and I know people who have met him, we all kind of internalized him as somebody we knew or we thought we knew, or so like
he almost looks like my grandfather who passed away last year a little bit. So I was like, it's like a weird thing with that too.
Yeah, it feels like you lost a family member. Because everybody internalizes his work so much that it hits.
You spend so much time with it. It's crazy. I mean, we spend so much time just talking about it.
Right.
I think Lynch and Bowie got me too.
Yeah. I mean, it's as I've said though, I mean, it's not the end. It's only the beginning, because like I showed you tonight, there are new fans out there. There are new people discovering his work every day. It seems like every week there's a screening of his films. I mean,
lately,
I mean, the last year or two, it seems like every day I'm hearing like, "Whoa, we just had this play at our theater last Friday," or "This is coming up this weekend." I never knew his films were playing like this. I don't think they were before. I think they are now. I think they've opened up the, now with the DCPs and the ability to play Blu-rays and 4Ks, because a lot of theaters are hooked up with that equipment.
Right.
They don't have to wait for film prints anymore.
I also think, and this is just a theory I have, that his style of filmmaking speaks to the younger generation a lot more than maybe previous generations, because it is a little bit disjointed in a lot of ways, at least stylistically, and that kind of connects a little bit to the kind of things we're seeing on social media, especially like TikTok, where things are a little bit they're like zany to like a surreal level, and things move fast or they're very still also. And it's a lot of the stuff that really performs on like these platforms is stuff that seems like bizarre, basically. So I think the theater of the strange is at an all-time high, and I think Lynch obviously is the king of that. And I think it's just connecting to the audience through that want to be like unsettled and like a little confused, maybe. And I think it has something to do with that.
Imagine if Cuppy Dog, make sure I got this right. Cuppy Dog, Puppy Cups. If she discovered rabbits, it'd be all over.
That's what I mean. Like I might just throw rabbits up on TikTok just to see. I haven't seen it on there. I might just see how it does, like how people respond to it as an experiment.
You could cut that in any way, shape, or form, and it will still make as much, sense.
Yeah, I'll cut it into like 30 seconds, and people will know what the hell's going on. They'll love it. I've uploaded pieces of like old short films that I've done that are like pretty much nonsense, surreal kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and the clips do crazy well. It's
Wow.
bizarre. It's like, and when I made them, nobody gave a crap about them because they were
Right.
like maybe a little bit too uncanny. But now I upload them and they get a lot of views.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's something about just the way people consume media these days too. I think it just resonates with the younger audience.
Well, as the song goes, the times are a changing.
That they are. That they are.
Imagine if Cuppy Dog was around when season 3 was premiering. I mean, she just she would have torn her hair out waiting week to week to find out about Audrey and Charlie.
She would have loved Diane with the red hair.
Yeah. So, Cuppy Dog, we adore you. Please come on the show.
Please come on. Yeah, we want to start the conversation with the new era.
Yeah. Let's just end this show tonight with a few more of her posts.
Yeah, it's getting late for me.
I know. I have to go in about 10 minutes, so let's just take a look at some of her wonderful posts here. I kind of need her. Let's see. Wait, I actually need to retweet all my old Twin Peaks posts now that I have an audience.
See?
Yeah. Are you ready to die, Ben?
But who posted that? It looks like a screenshot. Azalea Banks.
I don't know.
So again, maybe that's why. Maybe all these like newer artists, these bigger musicians, are also posting about it.
Yeah. Does she know the whole world loves her? Will she ever know how loved she is?
I know Billie Eilish had like during one of her tours, she had like clips of Twin Peaks on in the background and stuff.
Maddie Pajamas appreciation post. I mean, like, I just loved it.
I love that. That's like none of the other Twin Peaks people will ever. I mean, they'll talk about, you know, the pajamas and the kind of the style choice and where you could get, but like nobody ever talks about it so adoringly.
Nobody,
like this.
You will never see on any like, you know, major Twin Peaks influencers page somebody write, I can't think too hard about Audrey in the Return or I start getting sick from stress. And I can't think about Donna in the Final Dossier either.
That the fact that she references the Final Dossier so much, I absolutely love it. I love it.
Oh yeah. I never want to hear anyone talk shit about Audrey's pilot hair ever again.
Very, very strong opinions too.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. Look at this. Look at this.
See, this is the kind of stuff I mean.
No, she clips out Maddie and puts her in Missoula, Montana.
Good ending. That's so funny. That's unreal. That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this. He deserves this, and they stick him in like a war zone. Oh yeah. Good morning. And they put her in the fire pits of hell. I don't know what that's about. Oh yeah, we all know Audrey will enter the kingdom of heaven. Butch femme to me in my heart. I don't even understand that.
There's saying Bobby's a butch femme. That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here's this one where they put Leland Palmer in hell. They're done with him. Yeah. Maddie's going to Missoula.
That's so funny. I love this style. This is so funny.
Yeah. Woke up feeling like Audrey Horn.
She really loves Audrey.
Remember my long legs phase. Everything is connected. Do you understand?
Accurate.
Oh, Lord.
Squilly.
I get really grossed out watching Ben Horn eat the baguette and also when he's eating cookies and dipping his whole hand in the milk. Look at this stuff. Kind of obsessed with this look. Plus the pink car. She was crazy for that. Like, oh yeah. Let's see.
I need to make an account like this.
Kate Bean, I have too much love in my heart, kind of bitch, but that's who I turn into when I watch Twin Peaks. I just want to take away all their pain. I just want to pick them up and hold them. I feel diseased. Look at this stuff. I can't get over this. Maddie doing self-soothing hug. I'm gonna cry.
Oh, they catch those little moments.
Yeah. Number one Maddie stand. Number one Ronette stand. Oh yeah. Let's see. We need to go out on a good one though. Yeah, I like Twin Peaks a normal amount. Yes, you do, Guppy Dog. Yes, you do.
For Twin Peaks, this is a normal amount, unfortunately.
Yeah. Laura,
I'm the horse.
Laura, Jupiter, and Troy.
God.
They got her with the cat and the horse.
Oh my God.
Laura, Jupiter, and Troy. They made her in like a little anime.
It's so cute and also insane.
It's just wonderful on every level. Look at this though. Oh, this guy's also cool. A ranking of all 118 sweaters seen on Twin Peaks, and he writes, "Bring back real journalism." This guy is awesome. Shloom is Snoopy, and he makes Twin Peaks stuff with Snoopy. But he posts some really cool things too, though.
Big David Byrne fan too.
Oh, absolutely. It's been 8 years, and this is still one of my biggest vocal stims. What if we all hung out in the Black Lodge diorama?
Oh God.
It's just amazing. These people just make me laugh so hard because they
so good.
They bring out something that I don't see anywhere else in the
There's not enough Twin Peaks humor. Everybody's very serious about Twin Peaks.
But I've never seen anybody make fun of something that is like serious. You know what I mean? Like if Laura was being assaulted, I don't see anybody making humor about that. They would make humor about, I don't know, like the way she like, said something about James or something to Bobby or something. You know what I mean? I was born in the right generation. I loved the internet and watching Twin Peaks. Here's what I'm talking about. I love you, Sheriff Truman. This is where it's getting, this is where they're all getting into it.
I like the Snapchat pictures of fucking.
Yeah, me and Maddie share the same birthday. I'm gonna cry. Like you will never see this, anywhere else.
This is amazing. This is
incredible. After dreaming with the Eraserhead baby, I feel even more fond of it.
Oh my God.
Please kill Leland. The worst person just made a great point. Oh, I need to give a shout out to this lady, Mrs. Jackpots. She made what could be the Twin Peaks post of the year so far. And I know you've seen them because I posted them on your Twin Peaks universe before my Facebook account.
I think so.
She made, are you ready for this, folks? She made perfume. And she like created all these scents for every character of Twin Peaks, and it blew up all over social media. I'm sure you saw how many people were like loving that post.
Yeah, these are great.
She created
bonsai,
and so many women were commenting, like, oh my God, she nailed every single scent.
I want that scent. I was just looking for a new cologne.
Yeah. Sandra Lee says, they all smell great, but I'm loving the complexity of Albert. I just know how I would imagine. Like, anyway, I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Jackpot's title posting. She says her. She's a wonderful poster, and she does great stuff too. There's a whole group, folks, of fans out there that you've never encountered before, and they're just so enthusiastic, and they will. What the autistic family? What?
You're not wrong.
No, but I believe some of these accounts are actually, autistic individuals who are posting this stuff. So they're not making fun of them. You know what I mean? They're like,
well, yeah. I mean, I would argue that they are.
yeah. So that's my comfort character, trapped in the Black Lodge comfort.
Courage.
Courage. Yeah. Let's see.
Lord Palmer Vive.
Yeah. Here we go. The show that changed my life aired 35 years ago today. That's a good one we can end on, because that's pretty much where we are. It's, obviously life would go on if Twin Peaks had not existed. If Val Kilmer had been cast in Blue Velvet and not Kyle MacLachlan, there would be no Twin Peaks. As simple as that. I don't think that if David Lynch had not met Kyle MacLachlan, there would be a Twin Peaks.
I don't think so either. I think having him as Jeffrey,
it cemented it.
Yeah, that's if those two things weren't tied together, there wouldn't be a Twin Peaks.
There may have been a form, but there never would have been an Agent Cooper character.
It would have been called Northwest Passage with Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Right, and it would. What was that other show that came out at the same time around Twin Peaks? Northern
Exposure.
Yeah,
which is also a good show, and they had a Twin Peaks reference in one of the episodes.
Well, and Psych did a whole episode.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad they didn't get Jennifer Lynch to direct that episode of Psych, because now that she's so acclaimed in the world, I mean, Walking Dead, and she did Gossip Girl, and she's done a lot of great shows. She's high in demand, let me tell you. So,
oh yeah, she's great at TV.
Yeah, I hope to God she's able to. My dream, of course, is for her to, and I know this is something she's been wanting to do too, but my dream would be, she's earned the right to show run. She should be able to create her own show and run it. I think she would do.
Me out.
Yeah, I think she would do absolutely amazing. Let me get to. All right. Well, cool. I think we're doing good here. So we have 20 people watching. So hello, thank you for tuning in. It's nice to know we still have some Twin Peaks David Lynch fans that will tune in and watch these kind of impromptu discussions. But
let's ramble from topic to topic.
But I needed to do a 35-year show and talk about it. Obviously, I could do this all the time with different guests, but Joey, when Joey was like, yeah, let's do one, I was like, all right, let's do it. And because I knew you would appreciate Cuppy Dog. And
oh my God, I'm her biggest fan now.
Like I said, but you have to follow like the whole group, because they all respond to each other with different posts and memes.
You need the whole story. Yeah. It's like a whole little, I like it.
Exactly.
I like this new era. I like their enthusiasm. I like that they're pointing out little things that maybe I would have never noticed or really, be frank, cared about, but now they put it in such a context.
We're talking about 16 to 24-year-olds that are enjoying nearly 40-year-old soap opera and keeping it alive by making it feel current. That was, some people would push back on me whenever I would like reference modern things, but using a Twin Peaks still or something like that. But that's how you keep the show evolving and breathing and moving in today's climate. You don't just talk about it in 1991 years. You can, but you can also talk about it. It's timeless. So you can talk about it today, tomorrow, yesterday.
For them, it's all retro and fun and cool. Like even The Return, like they were probably like 6 or 7 when The Return came out, and now they're teenagers enjoying it. So they don't have the baggage of all the discussion from The Return. They could read the final dossier and like just enjoy it without thinking about all this other stuff. Like they have no other context except whatever information they seek out, or just reading the books and watching the episodes and stuff. So it's cool. I wish I could visit it in their eyes, but it's cool to see them enjoy it.
We're too old to do that.
I know.
They're the meme generation, and I was the Twin Peaks only airs one night a week on ABC generation. No reruns, no. There was a VHS set of the season 1, but there wasn't of season 2. If you didn't record season 2, you were out of luck until those Laserdiscs came out.
Yeah, I mean, I caught it, I guess, at the right time, a couple years before the return came back, or the return happened. So,
but you still had that
2010-ish.
time. But you still had that time in between, so you felt
Yeah,
the change. So
it was at least 5 years from when I watched it to when the return
right
happened.
So there's another question about what the Music Box thing is. It's a 10-day festival happening at the Music Box Theater in Chicago. It's David Lynch, morning till night, and maybe later than that, because there might be, because Daniel said they might, if they have time, they might spring and show this, and they never said what this could be, but this could be a lot of things. So I know they're gonna do like all of his commercials on the big screen. So, and I said, you're going to play the Heather Graham Calvin Klein commercial on the big screen? Because that's amazing looking. And he's like, yes, we are. So I wish I could go. I wish I could go to all these screenings because, except the ones where people are laughing. I mean, like I said, and like you were saying, David Lynch has a lot of humor in it. Twin Peaks has a lot of humor in it. It's a whole other thing when people are just laughing because they think it's ironic and they're being just dicks about it.
Yeah, people laugh at during the train scene in Fire Walk with Me. I don't think that's the right place to laugh, but yeah, I've seen it, I've heard it, but
yeah, the Music Box Theater thing starts tomorrow, so check it out.
I know people really loved the last time they did it, so I think if this time is a success, they'll keep doing it. I hope it is.
Yeah. Well, on that note, Joey, thank you so much for joining me. Where can people find you on social media?
Like Cameron has down there, you can just search my name on one of those 3 platforms or all of them. I post a little bit differently on everything. I'm probably the most active on Instagram and YouTube, but you can just search Joey Pedras and you'll find me.
All right. As for us, we're O&A/David Lynch Worlds now on here. And then I lost all the Facebook and Instagram stuff, so you can't find me there anymore, except for the Queen of Hearts page on Facebook. That is up and running. If you are on Facebook and you want to join the Queen of Hearts page, join it. Someone else is running that for me now there. So yeah. And then you can find me on Bluesky, and I'm still on Twitter X, but like I said, I mostly just use it to message and read people's awesome posts like Cuppy Dog. So
Cuppy Dog.
And obviously YouTube, we're here. So, and then you can email us anytime at obnoxiousandanonymous@hotmail.com. But yeah, this has been fun. And hopefully I'll be able to do another show next week. I have a guest that I'm hoping to secure. So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. What?
Well, it looks like Mandela Man left another comment that might be interesting.
Oh, well, if you get footage, send it to me.
Yeah.
But I think Music Box Theater is also thinking about live streaming some of it.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
Which would be amazing and great because a lot of us can't get there.
Yeah.
So
cool.
All right, guys. Give this video a big thumbs up. Run over and subscribe to Joey's channels, and also subscribe to here if you haven't already. I think you may take probably some of this and turn them into little shorts, right?
Probably.
Yeah. If you make one about Cuppy Dog, they'll blow up.
I'm gonna send it to her.
And Cuppy Dog, come on the show, because I would love to have her and like a bunch of them all on, because I want to. Yes. Sometimes even though the Twin Peaks fan community can be welcoming and lovely, sometimes the red ropes go up. You know what I mean? The gatekeepers come out. It's time to knock those completely down and let the new generation in. Come and party with us, because this is.
I love it. I'm like all for it. Come. I don't like. I'll laugh. I'll think, but like I'll totally. I want to know how you guys see the show, like sincerely.
But what they're posting is funny. It's extremely funny.
It's definitely humorous, but I totally want to hear how they view the show at this point in their fandom. So
yeah,
be
exactly.
interesting.
All right, guys, have a wonderful night. Take it easy, and we will see you soon. Bye bye.